Kerr, like, again, he went away from it tonight. And if he didn't, they probably win this game, right? Because the Nuggets had no answers for it. And then the Warriors voluntarily went away from it. So they need to cut that out, number one. Number two, again, if Draymond was available, I don't know that TJD plays tonight. So I don't know how much longer this problem is going to go on for. But there's like 2-3 issues, like core issues right now that the Warriors have and they have to fix. I understand and agree with you that the depth of the Warriors is absolutely real, but that's not new. Like we've been saying that from since the preseason, right? We're talking about. I've been talking about they're like literally legitimately like 12 deep, right? But they can't play all 12 guys, so they have to figure out how to get these minutes right. In order to get TJD in there, and they need to figure out who they're going to sacrifice in order to do that, because the sacrifice is necessary. But given how much better he makes this team, they have to do it. They can't wait like half the season or more and just continue to use him only when
maybe they can go
or somebody missing. Like this is no good.
Maybe they can do a thing like an adjustment where they're making if they're making a more defensive leaning unit. Maybe they can do it that way.
Every game? Urkel, shouldn't that be every game?
Not necessarily, because like sometimes you need the spacing on the court from the four. You know what I'm saying? So, like I don't want
that in Sarge.
Yeah,
Sarge is literally their stretch four.
So who are you going to sacrifice then?
That's what I'm saying. It's probably going to be. We always just say Moody because we assume like Kuminga has to play. So move him to this small forward. He's better there anyway. Him and GP2 at POA, that's going to look good. But Saric and TJD at power forward and center is going to look amazing.
No, but if you
combine those two factors together along with CP, these you think they look good right now? They're going to fucking dominate.
So who's going to play, GP2 or Moody?
That's what I'm saying, GP2. So, and you know what? There are going to be games where they could go small depending on the matchups. Then Moody can come into the picture. But yeah, I mean, this is a battle between JK and Kuminga. Yeah. I mean, JK and Kuminga and Moody essentially for that third spot.
Yeah,
it is what it is, man. You have to shore up your power forward and center position better than what they have done. And tonight, we continue to get a taste of it. Every time TJD plays, you just can't ignore this.
All right, so let's do this, Jim. Let's make a transition. This is hour one of post game, so let's make a transition to playback.tv/spacegang, and we can watch some highlights over there, and we can break some stuff down visually on playback. So let's transition over to playback for the second hour of this top of the table clash of the Golden State Warriors and the Denver Nuggets. So let's head over there, and I will. When's the next game?
Saturday.
Okay, so we get 2 days rest?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna have plenty of content on the Space Gang Network after this. So let's head over.
Also, hold on. Why? Looking at the schedule coming up, why are there 2 baseball-looking series after this? Like this schedule makes no damn sense at all. Because they play the T-Wolves twice in a row at home, and then they play like the Thunder twice in a row after they play the Cavs. Yeah. Like what the fuck is going on?
No, it's fine. You get those teams out early. I think a couple of those games are in-season tournament games, but those are good tests at home.
Yeah,
like those are tough teams.
6 in a row at home.
All right, so let's continue this conversation over at Playback. I will talk to y'all over there in a second.
Bert, you cook swipe. Cooking that nigga. Shit was crazy.
All of a sudden, he wants to come up now. You know?
I knew his ass was going to be in the spaces after they won.
Boy, there's
Let
no
me jump in when we win.
There's no way Swiper requested up, bro.
Oh, bro, if he
I'm not going to lie, Nikola Jokic is like the best ever.
Van, what's going on, man? Hell of a game, right?
Fuck.
fucking better than James Brown in 1983. It's like,
Dude, that's a hell of a
fuck
game,
that.
man. Hell
Yeah,
of a
no,
game.
that was actually a fucking terrible game. That was our worst game of the season. Dog shit from 3. We shot like fucking dog shit from 2. I mean, I think we were 41-31 and fucking, and then we couldn't hit a free throw when we actually
Yeah.
got them. The officiating was fucking terrible. I mean, just
What did you think
I'm
about
right
that
there
Aaron
with you
Gordon
on that
block?
one.
No,
Did you
man,
think it was a
it's like
block or a goaltend?
I have a fucking theory about it. You know, it's like my guy doesn't foul, and you get the fucking easiest ass calls ever. And that's like what every fan has to believe. But the truth of the matter on a night like tonight was that fucking was terrible officiating. Those guys should be fucking relegated to like the G League. That was fucking horrible on both sides of the ball. You guys have
I think so
fucking
too.
at least
I think it was
3 or
horrible.
4 calls that you could absolutely throw a nutty about. And we've got at least 2 or 3 that we could throw a nutty about. It was fucking terrible.
Yeah, it
It
was
was
bad.
horrible.
Like
So
Steph got hosed on like 2 straight for one
Bro,
he
the
got fouled.
goaltend at the end. The goaltend.
that was not a goaltend, man. He caught the ball out of fucking Curry's hands.
Nah. It was definitely a goaltend. It was absolutely a goaltend.
Dude, it hit the
What, the one he
glass.
On
knocked off
replay.
the backboard? That ball
Bro,
didn't
he
hit the
hit
backboard.
it.
It hit the
Van,
backboard and he just tossed it off the
it hit
backboard.
the
Yeah.
Okay,
it
I
hit
didn't
the
see it.
backboard, and then he tapped it, and then he also fouled Curry on the follow through, bro. Come on,
Yeah.
come on, man.
I mean, fucking love taps
I
here
don't
and
think it
there.
would have been
He
a
caught
foul,
that
but
ball on
like,
the way up.
but he got fouled
don't
the
know.
previous play, so it's like 2 plays in a row he
I
got
was
hosed on. But
watching my Homer broadcast, so they might not even have showed it on the
Yeah,
replay
did
on
you see
mine.
did you see the top of the backboard angle?
No, I didn't.
That's why. That's
Okay.
why they didn't
Well,
show it.
I would be upset about that if I was a fucking Dubs fan. I mean, but that was a fucking terribly officiated game. And you guys, you know, I don't know how you guys, it seemed like you guys didn't play that great either, you know? But yeah, I thought it was a bad game. I mean, I thought the shooting was bad. I thought that they were sloppy with the ball. I thought our rookies, after playing, you know, 3 great games, played a fucking laid a fucking turd in the punch bowl, you know. So I mean, that was my attitude. I think we were incredibly lucky to come out with a win tonight. So that's where I'm at.
One hell of a ball game.
they were just on it. Like, and Jokic is really hard to guard. Don't get me wrong, man. Like when he's there backing down and he's doing all of that shit, like it's tough to guard.
Yeah, but the Warriors baited them into 1 for 8 from 3, taking 8 threes.
Yeah.
You know, executed a defensive game plan beautifully. My takeaway is this team has a high-ass ceiling. They did not play nearly as well as they could. The fucking substitutes are back.
Yeah.
They kicked when they were second unit, they kicked Denver's ass and held them in that game when they were teetering in the second quarter. So that's very, very important, you know, as a unit, how well they could play. You got some good minutes from TDJ. You know, you can see he's going to build off this, particularly the move. Was it Jackson tried to steal it from him at the top? He spun and drove.
Yeah.
And you could tell him looking a little bit hesitant, but he took that to the rack. And then they were hunting Braun and Gillespie. They did a really good job attacking them when they were in the game. Jokic didn't make the shots. And without GP2 as a defender, you know, it's hard to talk about what happened when the dudes are not there. Let's say what the dudes that were playing. That bench is going to grow. This team has got a lot of growth left in it when Wiggins starts playing a little bit better. Kuminga starts getting them shots to drop. It was fucking fun to watch.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I was watching real time Bleacher and I was like, this team is pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like they're really good. And
they're really good.
And it's not like this is one of the best teams in the league, and I'm just watching them executing on defense. And Denver was up, and they just fought back. You know what I'm saying? They're making the right rotations on defense. Guys are moving off ball, right? Like I did like what they were doing. And Denver, you know what I'm saying? Denver, there was a few plays where Steph was coming off of that short roll or whatever, and Denver had to come up. And I saw guys slipping to the basket. There were a few times where Denver was like, "Oh shit, this guy's going to get a backdoor cut," and they started to foul. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, they're ready for it, but it's like they're still going to give up the advantage because they ended up fouling anyway, right? So it's stuff like that I saw tonight, and it wasn't the vets that were executing. You know what I'm saying? It's the young guys. And
Purple. They had no answer for that. They had no answer for that, and it was killing their ability to even trap Steph. They had no answer for that whatsoever. And we went away from it with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game, and Sarge got played off the floor in 2 minutes. Yeah. And we closed small. If we didn't touch that rotation, we would have won this game. Big picture, look, it's a little bit of a concern just in terms of schemes, right? I don't want to see that type of shit like in the postseason, but tonight I think overall they played really well. It's just annoying more so than anything else. Maybe just because I'm hyper competitive and I know that we could have won that game if we just stuck to our rotations. It was just an unnecessary change, and then it ended up also leading to some bad possessions like that CP3 pull-up three. With about a minute left, that could have been a much better possession, especially if Steph had the ball in his hands at the top of the key. I mean, we were killing him on those actions. Even Aaron Gordon was getting fried in ball screens. There was no reason to go away from that. But we did. And I don't know if it was GP2 out there instead of Kuminga, maybe Kerr would have stuck with it. But at least this evening, Kuminga could do no wrong on the floor. So there was no reason to pull it.
AK, all the things that you just complained about, who's responsible for those things?
Fucking Steve, dude. Fucking Steve. Like, there was just, at the end of the day, like, that was on him. Like, that was on
Nobody
him.
wants
It was,
to talk
it was,
about
it was
but
frustrating.
all of these decisions, these losses that should be wins for the Warriors, they're coming because of Steve Kerr's decision making. Like, I don't understand how people they're not able to put that together and just realize who's actually making those decisions. Do you think if Steve Kerr was like, "Yo, they're trapping and you guys are getting like wide open dunks every time. Let's spam the shit until they find a way to stop it or adjust to it." If he says that, do you think the Warriors go away from that? Of course not, because the coach is telling you to do that. But does he do that? No. They went to some motion shit to close the game. You understand? Steph was in the corner playing motion while Chris Paul is in control with the ball, not creating anywhere near the same kind of advantage that Steph Curry creates for you when he's on the ball. Who's making these decisions? Steve Kerr. Who chose to put the ball in Chris Paul's hands with the game on the line? Steve Kerr.
The Denver Nuggets.
Who put Sarge back into the game and lost the momentum to the Warriors? Steve Kerr.
The Nuggets were harassing Curry the whole damn game. Face guarding him. They took him out and made sure he was not going to get the ball in his hand in the last few possessions. And just like the Warriors, we're going to demand that Jokic take all the shots to make. It's funny to say that Jokic scored 35 and the Warriors executed their defensive game plan against him and took away him from being the passer. Similarly, the Nuggets executed their defensive game plan against Curry and just really made it harassing and bottled him up and forced the ball out of his hands the whole game. At some point,
here's the thing, though.
At some point, you got to tip your hand and salute their defensive scheme and execution.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. We've seen that before. At Steph off ball, off of pin downs before. You don't think we have counters for that? What ended up happening? How many back cuts did we get even with Steph off of the ball? But what ended up happening was we took most of our rim pressure off of the floor, and it definitely wasn't for rebounding. So the only thing that you can say, and it wasn't for defense. So the only thing that it was for, that you could, in terms of you have to try to understand what the coaching staff was thinking, was spacing offensively. And First of all, Sarge's shot wasn't falling tonight. And second of all, would you rather have Jokic closing out on the baseline off of a flare out, of a pop out, off ball, off of an action, right, off ball, or would you rather have him lost in no man's land in the high post, in between screen? And if you don't know the answer to that question, look at the middle of the fourth quarter.
Look, I'd rather that Klay Thompson not lose Reggie Jackson on the give and go, and inexplicably go double Jokic and give up the cut.
Yeah, that was a bad read on that. Yeah,
right?
he went.
So,
he went for the double there instead of going the screen.
You're talking about one play.
But those are different
fundamental
things.
plays.
That's not the same thing.
Fundamental plays. I would have never put the Warriors in that position in the first place.
The game turned on one play. Without that play, they win. Because, you got the bad goaltending call, and Steph misses the tying left-handed layup. I mean,
I'm telling you, the Warriors win comfortably if they just did what they did in the middle of that fourth quarter. If they just stuck with what was working, it would have been game. The Nuggets
the Nuggets have no rim protection. Like, we exposed it at the end of the third and most of the fourth. Why would you go away from that?
You're focusing too much on what ended up happening rather than what could have happened if the Warriors just did something different. Your points are valid, Bleacher.
Absolutely, but this is what was playing out on the floor.
I haven't heard you talk in a long time. Good to hear from you.
Like, look, at the end of the day, like, the process was good. It was one game, but like, I'm just ultra competitive, and I wanted to win this fucking game.
Of course,
and it
was not competitive. Like, as a fan base, like, we want to win this game. So the notion that the coach isn't interested in winning the game is preposterous. Of course, he should maximize the situation for his team to try to win the game. Why would you try to lose this game or not care enough to make the right move? All else, more than fans or anybody else, is supposed to do that. Do you see Malone?
Jim.
Yes, you do.
I'm just Jim. I'm just built different. I'm always blame the players.
If you don't understand, like I said, like, logically speaking, you agree that the Warriors were getting comically easy looks, like wide open lob dunks, when they were trapping Steph Curry at the top. See that happen?
Absolutely.
Okay, so do you think that it makes logical sense that the Warriors would continue to go to that until the Nuggets have a way to stop that?
I think when the Nuggets brought in their closers, that got closed down.
What are you talking about? They made the switch. The Warriors made a switch, a lineup switch, that made them not be able to do that. Not only that, they put the ball in Chris Paul's hands, which means you literally cannot play high pick and roll with Steph because he doesn't have the ball, bro. Right? If the coach tells you, put the ball in Steph's hands and spam this shit until the other team can stop it, that's what they're going to do. If the coach is like, I'm going to put Chris Paul in there to close this game, we're going to run this too small guard crap, compromise our defense some, and then we're going to have the ball in Chris Paul's hands, and we're going to try to run some fucking motion shit, which is exactly what they ended up doing. Those are coaching decisions, bro. You understand?
I'm not gonna be mad at Chris Paul's defense tonight at the end. You played.
It's not about
He
attacking Chris Paul's defense. It's about combining him with Steph that makes them too small together. That's what the issue is. This is not an indictment on Chris Paul's defense or Steph's defense. But when you put them two together, it limits the full potential of their closing lineup defense. Your closing lineup defense has to be the strongest. The strongest of the strongest. You can't have holes in it.
I like his point. Chris Paul made a pass to Klay Thompson to have a shot at winning that game, and Klay just fumbled it.
So that was the play right there. Urkel, play that one back there at 5:30.
Chris Paul's savvy down the stretch is a great benefit for this team, and it has been all season.
Here we go again.
He
trap
went
off the double team, dump it down.
He went
Backdoor
away from
cut.
Klay out in the corner, and Klay is slapping his hands and mad he didn't get that pass. And Paul ends up getting it in the lane for a layup. The savviness.
Okay, so after the shot. All right, so here we go. Steph, ball screen, double, Looney, dump off, alley-oop to Kuminga.
This is a joke.
All right, Jokic is able to get a good seal in there, turns into a strong shoulder, finishes. That's fine. Trap off of the double team. Looney to Wiggins. Again, another alley-oop.
Tic-tac-toe.
And then they took him off after that stoppage there. And then Sarge is on the floor. I think this is the last possession that Sarge was on the floor.
And then they go very small.
And then they go small. So Sarge is on the floor for 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then they go small to close.
There are trickle effects to going there.
And there goes your rim pressure. That was a good finish from Looney.
But the idea that you're gonna depend on a pick and roll with Looney finishing at the rim with the game on the line, that in and of itself is ridiculous.
But the Nuggets touched it last, and Wiggins saved it. He didn't need to. And he fouls Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. KCP fires both free throws. Jokic is doubled.
But AK, I'm glad you agree. We gotta hold the guy at the top, that's making all these decisions accountable. The team is gonna play a certain way if the coach tells them to play a certain way.
She will match it.
If you want to say that Steph needs to fight it and be like, no, we're gonna do this, and he has to be more vocal about that, okay. But the very notion that he has to fight the coach's decisions constantly in that way, that in it of itself is really screwed up. He shouldn't have to do that. The coach is supposed to make the right decisions where the players can just execute and do what they need to do to win a game. Right? So, hey man.
I think they'll be fine.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So I just wanted to make a point real quick about Pods and TJD and the bench. They played a really good game tonight. Obviously, y'all touched on that a couple of times. I really like what CP3 was doing there in the third. He was really setting up the offense really well, I thought. We got a lot of good open looks. I think Kuminga had a couple of nice shots. CP3 created for himself really well in that third quarter. And Jokic was in the game. Steph went out. We were down 2. Jokic stayed in. And we outscored them by 4 and took the lead. So, last year that doesn't happen. Not at all. We probably get on 10 instead of going up by 2. So that's really encouraging, especially on the road on, this is the 5th game on this road trip or whatever, 4th game, something like that. At the tail end of a road trip in high altitude, 3rd game in 4 nights. To do that's really impressive. And so in TJD and Pods, they're also 2nd and 3rd respectively in the league among all rookies and plus minus. I think TJD is plus 31 and Pods is plus 29. So that just kind of shows the impact they've had on our team, even in limited minutes. The only guy they're behind is Anthony Black, who is playing 17 and a half minutes a game in Orlando. So I think that's really impressive as well to see that. So, that's really all I have to say. How they're such positives, those two, and how CP3 is just doing a really good job leading the second unit. I've been really impressed with him. I knew he was going to be pretty good. I didn't know he'd be this good leading the second unit because every game they've been a positive. So it's really impressive to see.
One of the things that I love about Pods is that the kid just has a nose for the ball. He really does. Whether it be on the offensive glass or defensively rebounding, the kid just has a nose for the ball, and he's pesky, and the timing of how he kind of gets under box outs is really, really cool. He just has – some dudes are just like that, some guards, and he has that. He can be a high-level rebounding guard, and he's just always making the right plays. So we're super, super happy with Pods. I think he was a +8 today in 11 minutes or something like that.
I really appreciated how aggressive he was, out of the gate, that very first play when he put his head down and went straight to the rim. The kid is fearless, bro.
He had to play the outlet.
Let me ask you a question, right? Because I was rewatching these highlights of the game, and I'm watching Wiggins out there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take away the fact that he missed a few easy shots, right? So he was
4 for 13.
4-13 tonight?
Yeah.
10 points. So let's take away the fact that he probably should have been 6 of 13, 7 of 13, right? How did you feel about his overall game tonight?
I thought he played well off-ball defense. He was guarding Porter Jr., which isn't an easy ass. He's like a 6'10", 6'11" Klay Thompson out there, like running off the screen.
Who were you talking about there?
Wiggins.
Oh, Wiggins?
Yeah,
Wiggins did a good job on MPJ off ball tonight. He just, his confidence is just completely shot offensively right now.
One thing you guys haven't talked about that I think was kind of huge, actually, from a Nuggets perspective, is you ran our entire second team off the floor.
Yep, the bench points were 42-12.
Well, not only that, it was, Julian Strother, he's been playing, anywhere from 16 to, 19 minutes, and he got yanked after 8 tonight. Peyton Watson's been around 18 minutes. He got yanked after, I think, 8 or 11 tonight. So basically our whole bench, because the rookies were absolutely fucking baffled by the switches and the off-ball screens and their defensive assignments. I don't know when it happened. I didn't notice it live. It's because I'm looking at the box score that I'm noticing it now. Freaking Malone pulled the second unit and then put Justin Holiday out there and kept and went to a 37-minute lineup with everybody else.
Giuseppe was he was lost all game long. Giuseppe was lost all game.
He was food.
You're talking Gillespie?
Oh, it's Gillespie. Yeah, that's
he was food.
Yeah, he was absolutely toast tonight. Yeah. So, I mean, that's one thing that I would say, that's fucking Warriors ball, and it accomplished its goal and just, wrecked the bench. And then, the thing is with Joker is he was only a +3 on his plus minus because he played so many minutes with the bench. He was the guy that was trying to hold the bench together tonight. So it was kind of interesting, but that's something that I think that you guys did that changed the complexion of the game in the fourth quarter. So,
our bench, I think our bench consistently throughout the season will beat out almost every other bench, unless they're just having an off night, right? Like they did against the Pistons.
When you drove Christian Brown off and you drove Peyton Watson off the floor, that is when, essentially, it was, we had no rim protection left because, Watson's been, one of the main guys that's been knocking down blocks. So, I don't know. That was something that, I noticed that was definitely pertinent or seems applicable or whatever.
The thing about the Warriors bench is that if you look at all the pieces, low key, right? Moody could be starting on another team. Kuminga, he could be starting on another team. TJD, he's he could start on another team. Chris Paul is obviously, he's capable of starting on another team. So low key, you have another low key starting unit coming off the bench. I think that has a lot to do with why this bench looks so good.
Yeah, these guys look with all due respect to the Nuggets, none of those bigs, Peyton Watson or any of those dudes. I'm sorry, those guys are barbecue chicken and ball screens against Kuminga, TJD with CP3 and ball screens. There's those guys just absolutely have no fucking chance, right? The only dude that might be able to do anything and fight through any of those screens is Gordon on the Nuggets. Jokic is also, not capable of defending those ball screens. So, that would be a threat
through it and over it. I think
Michael Porter Jr. was playing off ball. He wasn't really being put into ball schemes directly. You're talking about off ball actions, split actions, and DHOs coming off the curls. You're not talking that. I'm talking about direct ball screens. MPJ is off ball, so that's a different thing. First of all, I'm talking about.
He was on Curry quite a few times. I think he was heads up with him 5 or 6 times. I don't know if he actually got put into a ball screen. I think one time he actually Curry. Talking about a bad ref, last 20, 30 seconds, fucking moving screen that Curry pulled on MPJ.
Off the ball?
Yeah. No. Fucking hell, you have to look at it, but it was last 45 seconds, 30 seconds. But, anyway, I'm just impressed with Michael MPJ's, you might be right about the specifics there. I don't know.
Do you think he's over his back stuff?
I got to tell you, I was terrified the first 4 games of the season when it was ankle was still slowing him down.
Yeah.
But I would say the last 2 or 3 games he looked like MPJ of last year. I think last year he just got exhausted.
He's looking close to his high school self, to be honest with you.
He's still. You watch some of those high school highlights, man. That dude, he was really flexible, and
he was the greatest prospect I've ever seen. Giannis coming out of high school.
The Nuggets starting lineup, man.
I think that he's getting to the point now where if the draft happened again, I think people would start looking at him being a top 10 or even a top 5 pick.
Well, here's the thing: you have to remember the context. He was right. The only reason that he fell out of it was because of his back issue. But the issue with his back,
because of the fucking Clippers. Thank God for the Clippers. We would have never got him.
Well, the issue with MPJ with his back is not necessarily that he picked up something, like for example in college, right, and then he fell because of they didn't know about immediate availability. Thing with Porter Jr. is he kind of has like the back of an old man, right? He's had these herniated discs in his back that basically.
Actually, I thought it was a nerve tunnel issue.
Well, it's a little bit of both. He's had the nerve tunnel issue and he's had the herniated disc, where basically there's kind of tears in the outer layers of his vertebral discs that end up kind of causing the lubricating material that's in your spinal fluid to leak out. And when that ends up happening, that's where you end up in a situation where
AK, how do you know this shit, dog?
I swear to God, bro.
Yeah, I mean he knows all this shit. And
this nigga studying like the MRIs and shit. I didn't even know that detail, bro.
I didn't know the backstory. I didn't know like.
Oh my God.
AK, be honest, bro. Did you go to med night school, bro?
Nah, bro. I just been around sports injuries for way too long, bro.
That's crazy.
All right, so it's a combination.
They had a Holiday Inn last
basically,
night.
in short, it's a long term issue, right? It's something that needs to be managed, not necessarily something that just goes away.
Well, I mean, that's the one thing is that he had that ankle injury and he's back to having the lift braces back on. So it's like he's literally fucking the Forrest Gump of the NBA. He's fucking running around.
The Forrest Gump of the NBA is crazy.
He went to Missouri.
He went to Missouri because his dad was coaching there. His dad was coaching.
Yeah, his brother was there too.
Yeah, Micah. He got drafted to Memphis.
I am just happy for him because he's fucking outplayed the idea that contract we gave him was shit. And I just think that's really positive.
I know it wasn't shit because I study these dudes. I study like prospects, but like I knew the contract wasn't shit. It was just a health thing. That was all for me. Like,
wait, you said his brother went to Memphis?
No, his brother got drafted by Memphis, like 55th pick in the second round.
Jonte, was that him? Or?
Oh yes, Jonte Porter. Yes.
So with Porter specifically, because it's like the herniation of his discs, even when it started in school, was it's really more genetic than anything else. It's not like an injury that caused it. That's why there was so much concern about him coming out of college.
Same thing happened to Bol, if you remember, because his dad had some shit too.
Bro,
and
so
he
much
had
concern.
It too.
So they weren't even sure about his availability long term, and it's good that he's been able to kind of fight through that.
Put the word out. That's how he dropped to 14. Was the Clippers doctors he thought he was going to be a Clipper and they fucking put the word out.
Yeah.
That they didn't think he was going to play again.
Yeah, they talked about he wasn't. If you draft the dude, he wasn't.
Yeah,
gonna play.
Exactly, and that's true. That's true. There wasn't even, there wasn't confidence that he would even be able to play like consistent NBA minutes. There was no question really about his talent, and he's a fine player.
I'll let you know a little story.
The injuries with him that you just got to keep it like when you know that his back is bothering him. Funny enough, is when they say that he's out because of his legs. If they say he's out due to calf soreness or tightness, that's where you know his back is bothering him, because obviously that spinal fluid leaking caused a lot of like tingling and numbness and pain down your legs. It's the direct result, similar to Draymond in his calf. Actually,
I got my neck broken doing jiu-jitsu back in like '82. I mean, back in 2002. And after the discs desiccated, man, I fucking have never had an issue since.
Well, yeah, but it was probably something that was due to you probably suffered it from an injury. This is like a genetic issue structurally that's caused these herniations in his disc. That's why it was so concerning. It was because it wasn't like he got injured and then he went through this stuff. Like it's genetic.
Yeah, the Clippers found out because people thought it was a regular back injury. The Clippers found out it was genetic, and that's why they were telling teams not to draft him. This is a funny story about it because the Knicks were like 100% going to take him on draft night, but then they saw that shit come out like a night before. They're like, "Fuck it, we got to panic. Take Kevin Knox." Fuck.
Right.
Yo, AK.
Yeah.
AK. I'm gonna be in the city from the 21st of December to the 25th. Are you gonna be around?
21st to the 25th.
Yeah.
I
might
may say that again.
I might stay longer. I might stay until the 26th. We'll see.
Okay, yeah. I'm supposed to be gone from the 16th through the 22nd or 23rd, but I'll be back like for Christmas and after Christmas. So if you're still here, like 25th, 26th, yeah, I'll be here.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to that Wizards game.
The Wizards is
When's
nasty.
the Wizards game?
Wizards.
What day is the Wizards game?
The 22nd of December.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I should be around right around Christmas and after Christmas.
Man, Jordan Poole shot like shit tonight. Fuck.
Well, looks like the Nuggets probably have a better starting five than the Warriors do. Just more talented overall. I mean, MPJ is kind of like he's like Otto on steroids. Like if you imagine MPJ playing stretch four for the Warriors, like that would be ideal.
Bro,
right?
The thing that pissed me off about
game
Nuggets,
over if they had a piece like that. So Nuggets certainly have a really. I mean, he rebounds super well as a small forward. He definitely has the size and the rebounding ability to play stretch four. He stretches the four, obviously, really fucking good. So he's definitely a factor, man.
bro. The thing that pissed me off about Nuggets, they make fucking everything, bro. Like
Not
they
tonight.
make threes.
But isn't that basketball though?
I know, but it's like annoying. Like once we get the lead, then they go and shoot a 3-pointer and make that shit, bro.
Bro,
they got shooters, dog. What the fuck? They got Porter Jr. can shoot. Fucking KCP can shoot. Jackson can shoot. Fucking Strother can shoot. Like,
bro, I know this was it was a long game. There's plenty of plays that we could point to, but goddamn, bro, these refs got to be Jesus Christ. I won't say that lost us the game, but Jesus Christ, bro. That was the most egregious goaltend I've seen since that Rudy Gobert shit in 2020 when he blocked Dame shit.
Do you guys watch fucking European ball?
Jesus
oh yeah, you know the stories.
Tell you,
yeah, unanimously, are you good, bro? Why you keep spamming that shit?
Referees in European ball that they do so much better job than our referees.
Good Lord.
Yeah, unanimously, you good? Why you keep spamming that paragraph?
He's a troll, bro. Jesus, he's a troll.
No, I'm not a fucking troll.
No, not
bro.
you.
Not
The chat. I'm talking to Sam.
Okay.
Sam was somebody in the chat.
ET's back.
Yeah, man.
That does completely change the game, by the way.
It does, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Swing of the game, like, come on.
The rest of bullshit too. Yeah.
And then motherfuckers are lying and shit on the timeline talking about clean block. Like, bro, you just get gaslighting, bro. I swear to God, you're just gaslighting. Jesus Christ.
That swing is huge. That's a huge swing. They lost the game by basically 2 points. So
yeah, bro, that goaltender.
Everything that went wrong, if that call gets made, it's a different game.
Yeah,
man, fuck that. Clay needs to make his free throws, bro. How do you
the first? God damn it!
Is that going to be in the 2-minute report?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, he just grabs it off the backboard. So,
bro, Curry put it up. It hit the backboard, then he slapped it back off the backboard. Like, bro,
isn't the 2-minute report only for the final 2 minutes?
Yeah, it didn't it occur in the final 2 minutes?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it was earlier in the fourth.
Way early in the fourth.
Way earlier. Yeah.
See, we're not going to the front office and complaining like some other people are, but we ain't gonna do that.
I mean, he's not lying.
We should, but
he's constantly getting screwed over by the refs.
Everybody in the league send that
That's
shit
our
out.
job.
The only one that leaks it though is LeBron.
Yeah,
everybody does that shit.
Why do you think he leaked that though? Because you're right, teams do that. Like
it never gets leaked.
It's not an uncommon thing for them to do that. So why are you gonna?
Because he wants to look like a victim.
Nah, I thought David McManaman did.
No, he wants to
McManaman's
look like
LeBron.
he wants to
Yeah,
look.
but how?
He
Yeah,
wants
so
to look
what,
like a
man?
victim because he knows his fan base. They literally wake up every day looking for different reasons why he could be considered a victim in a situation. Like, oh, he's going against the super team. Oh, he's not getting enough foul calls. Oh, he needs more help, bro. It's always that, bro. He knows what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, bro. It's always about deflecting the narrative away from what's actually happening on the floor.
LeBron is the greatest
It was the
politician of
same
all
shit.
time.
It was the same shit after getting swept by the Nuggets, and the first thing he heard in his media presser was, "I think I might retire after this year."
He's the greatest politician of all time.
Hey, but even though we lost this game and I'm pissed off at that, look, we didn't lose to the fucking lottery spaceships tonight by fucking 30. Fuck
Spaceship.
the
The
Lakers.
lottery
Hey,
spaceship.
hey,
Fuck
hey,
the
hey, hey,
Lakers.
Seidel. They lost the space game. You see the logo in the
Bro,
middle of the
They
court? They lost
did,
the
they
bro.
space
lost the fucking
game.
space game, bro. Fuck the Lakers.
That's crazy, bro.
Them boys lost the space game. Shit crazy.
They lost to a corner three by TJ.
Shit.
By TJ's Quarter 3 by TJ's crazy.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
If they do the lineup that I want them to do, which is TJD and Sarge together, do you think the Warriors are going to dominate doing that?
In the second unit?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the TJD compensates for a lot of what Sarge doesn't provide you in terms of rim protection, and not only just Sarge, but TJD alone in that lineup cleans up a lot of the issues that we've had with over helping on the weak side. I've literally seen GP2 bite from the mid post, literally bite down, like when he well knows that he shouldn't be helping, just from muscle memory, just knowing and that in the back of his mind every single possession with Sarge at the 5 that I might have to jump there on that weak side, and then literally causing him to slow down and miss a closeout because of that early jump that he did, and then him having to basically literally compensate for what he's already anticipating in his mind. So I don't have a doubt that it'll fix defensive issues.
So, is it worth having to bench somebody? Like somebody has to be benched if you're going to do that, right? Which means Moody is the obvious name here that has to sacrifice for the greater good of the team. Would you agree with that?
I think so. I think that the minutes, it might not be the same guy, like night in and night out, whose minutes are getting cut. It might be like a minutes cut by committee. So it might be a little, a tick off of Moody here, a tick off of JK there, a tick off of GP2 there. It might not just be a straight swap every single time, but, who's probably going to get the brunt of that minutes reduction, I would guess, is Moody.
Right. So, we don't like it, but if it makes the team significantly better, then sometimes you have to do difficult things for what is best for the team. So that's the answer to your question, Clay Nation. When you say how do you justify benching Moody, the justification is that the team would get much better results overall. That's the thing. I think, to be honest with you, I think Moody fits what they do better than Kuminga does, but Kuminga is higher in the hierarchy for the Warriors than Moody is, and that's why we're going with that.
And it's also matchup dependent as well. Like there's certain matchups where you're going to need more size, you're going to need more POA. And, against a second unit, if you're going up against a team that you need both more size and more POA, then obviously it makes sense to have JK and GP2 both out there, right? Obviously, Moody doesn't give you the type of on-ball defense that JK does.
Right.
And
you need some more
JK,
screen, then you put Moody in there over somebody.
Exactly. And JK tonight is a super small sample size, but looked really, really good off ball at the 4 and was getting on the glass. But
he had one possession.
To put him in the best position to succeed, that's obviously not where it is, right? But there are gonna be some matchups, especially against teams that go small or they have more shooters, right? Especially in their second unit, where you do just run TJD at the 5, or you do just run Sarge at the 5, and you don't have to play them together on the floor. But there's certain matchups, like against the Cavs, where it was pretty obvious in terms of what we needed to do in the second unit. We just didn't do it, and we got absolutely murdered at the end of the game on the glass. So we got, we ended up paying for those, not having those rotations out there. So, if it's going to be Moody from time to time, if it's going to be GP2 from time to time, depending on if we need more spacing or if we need more point of attack, I wouldn't just, blanket, put it, go, the same way that we're flexible in making the change, we got to be flexible in reading matchups. So if we need more spacing, we need more offense, then Moody gets out there more, right? Then, we don't need to run both, right? We have, maybe you have a Moody and a Kuminga and you don't have GP2 as much in the lineup. That's fine, right? It's matchup dependent. But, one thing that you can't do is you can't just say that we can't play both the bigs off of the floor in the bench in the second unit together.
Yeah, at the end,
because we've seen it work. Like we've seen it be a positive on the floor.
I'll even go this far. If we want to keep Moody playing, there will be times when maybe Saric is off the floor, because listen, man, at the end of the day, the center position defensively, like making sure that you have that spot covered is way more important than anybody else that you play at the 2 or the 3 from a defensive standpoint. Okay, so that's why you have to prioritize that position over, like the small forward position, and you got to fortify their defense, and playing TJD does exactly that. That's why I push for this move. I just see it so clearly, bro. Like, there's not a single game that TJD hasn't come in and made a massively positive impact. So if he keeps that, that bench unit connected defensively, right, possession by possession, and he's got some help with Saric, JK, whatever the case may be. GP2, obviously, you put GP2 with TJD, that combination is killer. I'm telling you, it's killer. You got a killer POA. You got a really good, defensive guy at the center position. That combination is really powerful. So when Draymond comes back and the starting unit starts playing better, Wiggins is playing better, and then you go to that bench unit, and then they're just like blowing the other team's bench, out of the park. With more consistency, because again, the Saric JK combo, that they haven't done well. They're in the negative. So let's fix that. That's my biggest takeaway right now. Above anything else, there's so much more room for room for error by doing it that way, because defensively you're just so strong. Offensively, you can have lapses here and there, and it just wouldn't hurt the Warriors that much if your defense is sound for majority of the 48 minutes. Yeah, so that you gotta understand where you put your priorities.
Jim,
yeah,
you want to take this convo to strength in numbers? I am so happy that we have multiple channels now, because I can go to bed at like a reasonable time now. Do you want to take this to this convo to strength in numbers?
Sure, I can do that. Manu's here, so
Manu, what's up? Yeah, we can do that.
All right, let's do that, y'all, because I gotta go to bed at some point.
Yeah. What time did you wake up, Urkel?
Oh man, I woke up like 5:30 this morning, so I'm
shit.
Right now. Yeah. So all right, good. I don't want to say good loss, but encouraging loss. So we'll get back at it on what day? On Saturday?
Saturday. Yeah, we got a couple days off.
Yeah, so we'll just watch some games, scout the rest of the league tomorrow, and we'll just get back at it. So I'm going to log on again around 8 o'clock in the morning, get some stuff ready, head to the gym, and then just do this all over again tomorrow. But I appreciate y'all.
Hey, Urkel, don't forget, fuck the Lakers. They lost by 30 to the lottery
space.
I
don't get why they're talking shit. That's
lottery space.
How the fuck can you top shit when you just got dog walked by the Rockets?
Yeah, bro.
Zero self-awareness.
Zero.
All right, I'll see y'all at strength in numbers.
All right, y'all.
Peace.
Strength in numbers.